crazy mother. Yeah.
It's just BurnEye.
Hey, Bernie, just like last week, huh?
Weekend at Bernie's.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is going to be a little bit of a short one. And first off, condolences, and may the soul of Andrew Desert Drifter rest in peace. For those that don't know, a very awesome YouTuber, and this picture right here, as well as several of his pictures, we will be using in this episode of Suspect Geology. And is this a biogeology? Is this a fossil of some sort? Is this stellium 7 sort of thing? Or is it carving? Not sure. Could be either or. But the Badlands, super suspect. And is it vitrified? Is it a pre-cataclysm macro structures? Is it terraforming? Is it the ruins of the past? And it's very suspect. And it seems some could be geopolymer layers that have since been eroded, and or was it brickwork that then went through several stages of catastrophes, as well as tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, and possibly even millions of years of natural weathering and erosion since the actual original builders and creations, if that's what we're looking at. And shout out to fellow YouTube researcher David Stig, and that also lots of it could be remnants of advanced ancient mega and macro mining, which could have taken out and formed a lot of these structures. And then, of course, the ancient petroglyphs, many of them depicting all sorts of humanoids, anthropomorphs, as well as potential plasma scenes. And what are we looking at? Is that looks like vitrified. They're saying it this is volcanic activity, but I'm not sure at all, especially in the midst of all of the sandstone and these potential layers that look almost megalithic on top. Oops, definitely looking megalithic on top. And is it megalithic carved stone? Is it megalithic geopolymer? And is there evidence of vitrification, possible either plasma catastrophe, nuclear warfare, hot fire, as well as saltwater ocean tsunami, all possibly each taking place, if not one or more, on these potential former ruins, and very suspect geology, to say the least. And this series of pictures taken, screenshots from a Desert Drifter video. Very tragic that he passed away due to a catastrophic car accident a few months ago, or a couple months. I think it was 3 months ago. The accident happened 2 months ago. He's taken off life support, but in his spirit, we keep his epic explorations alive. And very, very suspect. Anything called yes, yes, you are, Calix. Shout out SoCal Alex. Shout out Not Sure. Shout out Venus Rose and anyone else watching. Suspect Geology Episode 1. And it's going to be a shorter one today, but it's a good one. And anything called Badlands, super, super suspect. Like, what is this? That it looks like almost a ziggurat, at least a mound. What are these? Are these former chimneys, smokestacks? What's this pyramidal looking structures? It's very, very suspect, to say the least. What created these? Are they buried structures? Are they heavily eroded structures? Are they petrified titans? I'm not sure. Could be a combination of all of the above. It is suspect. And are these former monuments, carvings, monoliths that have been exposed to the ages of erosion and past catastrophic damage? It's just very, very suspect geology, to say the least. Yeah, there is the Andrew. May he rest in peace. Good desert drifter. And right in front of him, what looks like a stepped pyramid, potentially these so-called fairy chimneys, looking very, very chimney-like on top of a clear mound. Another clear mound. So we've got 3 mounds in a row in this very, very suspect geology location. Is there buried underground? So what they call caves, but tunnels. Um, is it like a Cappadocia potentially? I'm not sure, but we could have a Darren Kuyu. Who knows? Also, very, very suspect in these Badlands are these petrified logs. And it's like you don't see branch, you don't see leaves or any other part of the tree. You don't even see roots. You just see these logs. And was that potentially, there is my man. Shout out David Stig, just mentioning you, sir. And are these the ruins of past macro advanced mining and civilization? And did they mine the areas out? Were they using logs? Because this looks like where's the branches, where's the leaves, where's the sticks and everything else, the twigs, right? Where's the stigs at? There's this stig, but no sticks, just straight logs. So was that being used in this area? Potentially, right? Like, was that a beam? Was it for building? Not sure. Again, more what looks like stepped pyramid or mounds. Could it be mining? Potentially. Are these ancient guardian carvings of statues? I suspect so. A lot of them look like it. The guardians around, and very, very suspect what's in the background. And for scale, again, there is Desert Drifter, rest in peace. Good soul. And look at this, very pyramidal capstone on top of this. And going back for scale, so Andrew's up here, and that's that part. So it actually extends all the way down, I believe. much larger than what we're seeing from that angle. Again, very suspect geology. Like, what are these things? Are those Titans? Are we looking at biogeology? I don't know. Were the mountains once alive? I don't know. Right? Look at this. That's pretty face-like. That looks either like a carving or a statue, right? What are we actually seeing here? It's very, very suspect geology again, to say the least. Just what is our realm made of? Are these monoliths? Are these ancient carvings? Are they the remnants of mining? Are they geoglyphs? It's all up in the air, really. Like, they're called monuments today. They're national monuments, most in national parks. Why are they still referred to as monuments unless they actually were? And do we see arms and faces and arms and stuff of former Colossus statues? Potentially. Are these the remnants of mining and of building and of cataclysm? Are there tunnels throughout the cave systems? Are these collapses covering the actual entrances into the inner systems? Go back, you say. Zoom back to which one? What were you wanting to see? There's suspect geology throughout all of these canyons. It's ridiculously suspect, right? Potential former carving there, maybe. I don't know. Um, And these are several stories tall, just for perspective, and there are actual ancient Pueblo buildings in there, mostly stone and mortar. But there's the potential caves in behind them, and that we're not actually seeing what the full scope of what is possibly these mega structures. And are these ancient colossus? Is it all just pareidolia? Or those the remnants of previous civilization? And were these canyons mined out? Were they macro mined? I suspect so. And then was there layers of limestone geopolymer potentially built in on top through the mining? I also suspect that. And the evidence seems to keep adding up. So here we go. Here we're zooming in to one of those little caves. And look at that. It's actually a really big cave. And we have the remnants of several story tall buildings, entire towns and little cities that are in there. And like they're saying, they're from at least 750 to 1300 years ago. And what is behind, what is underneath, and are all of their original creation stories and legends of the underground, undermountain cities in these canyons actually true, and how far back do things extend? And are these slides, supposed slides, actually covering up the original entrances where, you know, there was wars here, there was genocide, and are there actual in canyon tunnels and cavern systems? I suspect so, as do the natives that claim to be the indigenous of these areas and these lands. And it's all very, very suspect geology, to say the least. It looks like Iran, it looks like Afghanistan, it looks like Turkey, it looks like everywhere else in the world where people still inhabit these very ancient structures and were they re-inhabited? I suspect so. Is this evidence of mining? And look at the terracing here as well. Clearly past civilizations, and again, evidence of such, but were these just the primitive survivors after the original catastrophes of the macro builders? I suspect so. Okay, sorry to start uh, clicking through really quickly, but running out of time. Here we see a four-sided pyramidal building, potentially vitrified building in the middle, right? Like how does water carve that out? It doesn't make sense, but past cataclysm and former civilization do. All of the holes, the parallel hole lines, was that for structure? Did you put wood in? Did you put metal in? Were you building off of it? I think so, right? Like that, this was engineered and had bigger purpose. Again, all of 90-degree angles, very, very suspect. Is that a carving? Potentially. Very suspect geology in all of these canyons. And what are we looking at? 90-degree angles, 90-degree angles. Suspect geology everywhere. We have a perfect wall extending out here. How is that? What looked like former towers. Very suspect geology again. This is covering something up. Is that the dig entrance in? I'm not sure. But very, very suspect geology. And this is in a national park. I forget the one, but guided tours. You're not allowed to down there without guides. Very suspect geology. Very, very suspect. Guardians, potentially. What are we looking at? Suspect throughout. Again, very, very suspect. Potential megalithic. Got ancient stairs carved through very ancient pathways, ancient brick buildings, the remnants on top. Very suspect. Very suspect geology. There, there. Like, were these past carvings. Were they actual titans? I don't know, but it's all extremely suspect. Here we have remnants in the sea, and this is what's behind are these caverns that Paul Cook has documented throughout Malta and everywhere that I've also found in I saw Rex Bear document in right outside Los Alamos that are in the UK, Malta, Petra, and throughout the US and South America, and that they are what Paul calls the old apartments. And here we have this massive pueblo in, it was called essentially a castle. It was like 3 or 4 stories, crumbling ancient, but on this cliffside, built up over top of and covering up in the very basement these cavern entrances that Paul shows are potentially geopolymer. Oops, back. So that's one section of it as it continues. And I forget this guy's name, but quite the wild castle place that he explored here and showing and documenting this massive Puebloan ruin covering up the entrances of those caves. Oh, there we go. Hiking Forgotten Ruins, I guess, channel name. Shout out to him. And we got more ruins. They're literally everywhere. Again, I believe that's Andrew. Rest in peace, Desert Drifter. And then we got that guy again. Very suspect geology. Very suspect geology. This place, Wawawiwa, that is extremely suspect geology. Like, what are we looking at? Very, very suspect geology. Now, this spot, this looks like an artificial wall that has been built. I don't know how you get that sort of symmetry with what they're saying look like petrified logs, but are actually the Cretians or something, the big circle spheres, but they could be wooded spheres that were cut, and like this looks like the top of a giant wall dam that was built. Like there's the symmetry of it. Like look at this. How does nature just form that sort of symmetry? It doesn't. At the same height in these different parallel blocks, like that is a concrete that was made, that was a wall. There's just no other way about it. Like that sort of symmetry, nature doesn't do. Like that's insane. I like this has to be an artificial construction. I just don't see any other way around this one. And so here's what one of these things looks like. Another one close up, another one, and again you can see like you got these straight layers of block-like construction, and then in the middle these big old blocks with the Grecians in it. Like, and he's showing more of what's inside of them, and like look, like that's like a block and a block. Like they're straight making artificial dams and dikes out of it. Like that is my opinion and what I suspect, but I just don't see how nature could do this, and that is beyond suspect geology right here. And that it's going around the whole bluff. Like it's here's the outside, right? There's casing not broken off yet. Then these are further damaged, and you're seeing the inside of what these dams were. Like that's an artificial construction. I don't see any other way around it. Okay, continuing on. Very, very suspect geology. What can scale like? Again, very suspect geology. It's also suspect. Clearly could be a face there. This is, I believe, the Grand Canyon. RIP Desert Drifter. Suspect geology behind. And that is a room. That's a building. That's the little remains of a building. And look at the scale. Were these areas mined? Were they created? Is this the elongated skull head figure? I don't know. Very, very suspect geology again. That almost looks UFO like. I don't know. That I think is taken a little far out. But hey, what is this? This is suspect geology. These canyons, were they all mined? I think so. I think this is ancient mining. And then re-inhabitation. Like, what is that? Is that a massive freaking fossil head of like the Thunderbird as it died? In its hole? I don't know. That's freaking crazy. This one, this blew my mind. That's the back of it. This is the back side. So that even does look bird head like. Like that's I don't know. That's just this that's wild. That just two pictures. So top, front, and the back of it. Like that looks like a beak, eye socket, and the dome of a Titan bird. I don't know, but it's crazy. We got a straight wall. Also crazy. Is this macro terraforming? Is this ancient mining? Combination of both? I suspect so. And suspect this is evidence of the ancient mining and terraforming that David Stig, shout out to Brother Stig if you're still watching shows. Zion National Park, extremely suspect. Like that looks like columns and a straight up castle. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, what is up on top of Zion National Park? Extremely suspect geology. Like, what the heck is up there? I don't know. It's wild. It's suspect as heck. And you tell me what's going on with the Zion National Park. Why is it called that? Why is there scale like stuff or cement like? Why is it all pyramidal in some of more of it? This is also Zion National Park. That is looking pretty pretty darn ziggurat mound like and building like, and also in the Zion National Park. All super suspect. Arches as well in Zion National Park, super suspect. Very pyramidal looking. All super suspect in this Zion National Park. What is actually going on here? I don't know, but I think it's worth further investigations. And sadly, Zion Park is in Utah, and it's pretty wild. Yosemite, I've been to as a kid. I need to go back to, and it's also suspect. Everything, every national park, suspect. And shout out to Point of View channel, POV channel. And part 2, we will be looking through lots of his videos. And what the heck? Everywhere. Look at all that terracing. Look at all this terracing. How much more suspect geology do we need? And on that note, I've got to go. So we're going to cut this one short, but we will be back with an episode 2 for all of you very soon. And wishing you all a blessed weekend. Have a good day.
You crazy mother. Yeah.
It's just burning!
Hey, Bernie, just like last week, huh?
Weekend at Bernie's.